Hello friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. How are you? A little while back I asked you guys on the community tab of my YouTube channel, as I do from time to time, what is the fragrance that got you the greatest reaction of all time? What was the reaction? What was going on there? Spill the beans, let me know. And you did. And today I'm sharing with you guys 10 of your best reactions that you got from these fragrances. These fragrances that guarantee the best reactions. If you want to be part of a future video like this, check out the community tab on the YouTube channel, because I've usually got a question up there where you can leave an answer and be part of a future video, and always upvote those answers that you agree with or that you think are good, so that they can be featured. Little community type stuff. I've got all of these linked in the description below, so check them out down there. Also check out these codes that will present you with percentages off of a purchase that you may make at one of these websites. All right, I've got the goods here in the basket of destiny, or basket of doom, whatever you want to call it. Let's go. First up, we've got one from Snipa18. Snipa 18. Snipa. Because of you, Ash, I went from having 3 colognes to about 100. Don't blame that on me, man. Out of everything that I have, my wife still buckles at the knees when I wear Versace Boucheron. She even heavily sprayed all of her clothes and suitcase liner with it before her vacation. Best compliment I could ever receive. Now, honestly, that's pretty cool. Because if she's spraying her suitcase liner, her clothing and everything, that means she's thinking about you, man. She wants to get that endorphin rush, you know, when she smells that fragrance and your face pops into her mind. So good on you. And Versace Boucheron works. This stuff, it's fresh, it's easy to wear, it's extremely appealing. I wore this for a long time to the office, almost as a daily wear type of fragrance. It does make a good signature scent, because fragrances like this that have that ease of use, you know, that kind of scent profile that pretty much everybody's gonna like, you can wear those anywhere. Even though some people wouldn't consider this like a more formal fragrance, if you wear that in a formal situation, nobody's gonna question that. Also, not too expensive from discounters. There's a lot to like about this one. Yeah, it's super, super happy. You know, when you smell it, it's like, put you in a good mood. Ooh. And you know what? If your wife likes it that much and it makes her think of you, this should be your signature scent, which I guess it is, right? Probably. If it's not, it should be. Darrell Navarro says, I was wearing Latafa Assad at work, a convenience store. One of my regular customers is an older lady who absolutely loves it. Her funniest reaction to the cologne was when she came in one time and was raving about my cologne, saying out loud in front of other customers that she was going to faint and how it's been so long since she smelled a man. It was funny and embarrassing. And then I'm assuming that you took her out on a date, you know, you and that nice older lady, and she taught you a thing or 2 or 3. So Latafa Assad, this is a clone of Dior Sauvage Elixir, and part of me would not be surprised that an older lady would smell this and be like, oh yeah, that smells like a man. Because, as I've said before, Sauvage Elixir, you know, it's got kind of a throwback feel to it, done in a modern way, sure, but you know, it's got a little bit of that 80s vibe to it. So if somebody who was, you know, in their 30s or something, or even their 20s, back in the 80s, you know, they smell this, which smells like Sauvage Elixir, maybe it's got a little bit of that throwback magic to it. You know, it's gonna remind them of their heyday when they were getting into some stuff. And it's gonna just like awaken the beast within. So I could see it, I could see it. Latafa Assad, certified old lady puller. Next up, we have one from Asaber8773 who says, being a train officer, today I wore Boucheron Jaipur. A policewoman with her squad in my train traced the scent, sniffed my uniform, saying I smell like the holidays. That, my friends, is a code. You smell like the holidays. Is a code for take me out. Could have said something a little bit more X-rated, but we'll just keep it to that. I do like how he words it as well. A policewoman with her squad in my train traced the scent and then sniffed my uniform. Almost smells like they were sniffing out a bomb, or like they were the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? If you don't, how do you not know Hocus Pocus? But in the movie, you know, when they're sniffing out children, when they're sniffing though, they do this kind of move, you know, this kind of. I imagine the policewoman squad hunting you down like that, trying to find the fragrance. Let me see if this reminds me of the holidays real quick. Well, you know, it does have that kind of little warm spiciness to it, a little creamy. Bit of a classic fragrance at this point too, and it doesn't get talked about all that much, but it's very good. I would say though, younger guys probably won't appeal to you as much. Mario Sobal Varo 1003. Man, these new YouTube screen names, they got a certain ring to them, don't they? The best reaction I've gotten was when I sprayed my best friend with Mercedes-Benz Club Black before we walked into a bar. He's a handsome guy, but a little husky and not super confident. As we were walking in, these cute two girls were walking out. One of them picked up on the fragrance, tracked back, and took a big whiff right off of his neck. She told him he smelled amazing. He was a bit flabbergasted, but you could see his confidence go up for the rest of the evening. Bought him a bottle for his birthday later that year. It's like a wholesome post right there. I like that. You're a good wingman, you're a good friend. I love Mercedes-Benz Club Black, and obviously those two young ladies did as well. This one is a really vanilla forward fragrance. Very sexy, sweet, perfect for fall and winter, and good for an evening out, obviously. I really like this one, and it does, talk about how fragrances can be a confidence booster. A lot of times, some people will say that you shouldn't ever wear fragrances for how somebody else is going to perceive it. But I don't think that's really the best way to look at it. Everybody wears fragrances for different reasons. And if you don't wear a fragrance for other people, that is totally fine, but you shouldn't crap on other people who do. Because as we see here, this guy's friend got a confidence boost, made him feel better, have a better evening, just improved his quality of life essentially by having on a nice fragrance, and his homie looking out for him too. That's a nice one. QN up next. How's it going, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Out of my large collection of fragrances, the scent that always gets me odd compliments is Aqua Dejo Profumo. It's Aqua Dejo, man. It's gonna be getting the job done until the end of time. What can you say? Like roaches. Roaches are gonna be here forever. Aqua Dejo, in some way, shape, form, or facet, is gonna be here for a while. 5 different occasions I had several people notice that I'm wearing cologne, except they always make random guesses as to what it is. At one point, 3 dudes at my friend's birthday party were debating whether it was Invictus or Savage. And all I really did was smile and nodded. They didn't find out it was Profumo until at the end of the debate, and I told them. These 2 dudes going back and forth. Oh, no, it's Invictus, definitely, man. I can smell that bubble gum. No, man, it's Savage. Everybody wears Savage at this point. That's like 2 dudes who knew enough to get them into trouble, right? They knew what Invictus was, they knew what Savage was. They didn't really know how either of those smelled though, but they hung their hats that it had to be on their respective horse in that race. It's gotta be one or the other. These are the only 2 things that exist. And then you had to tell them it was Aqua Dejo Profumo. Like, come on, guys. Invictus, Savage, ooh. Still smells good though, man. I know I'm a Profundo guy, but Profumo's good too. Well, obviously you guys already knew that. Next up, we got Michael Lee 8815, who says, I wore wood essence from Bulgari, and my female friend that I'd always had a thing for hugged me hello, and told me I smelled delicious. Sure, she's married to another dude, but I had my moment. Sure, she's married, but dude, she hugged me hello and told me I smelled delicious. I'm in, bro. I just gotta wait for them to break up. Like 25 years from now, it's probably gonna happen. But I'm glad that you had your moment in the sun with Bulgari Man Wood Essence getting you that delicious hug. This one does get overlooked a lot of times. I know it's maybe not like the most in-your-face fragrance out there, but I've heard time and time again from you guys about how well Bulgari Man Wood Essence does for you. And to be fair, it's got that sort of sweetness that does, kind of lure people in. That sounds wrong, but it's got that kind of sweetness that people are attracted to. And even though it's wood essence, it's not really like a strong woody scent in the sense of, that almost spicy woodiness that some fragrances have. This one is pretty smooth, and so that makes it, again, very wearable. Now we got one from DanStank, who has definitely the best name out of everybody here today. DanStank. It's always the same. Kenneth Cole Black Bold, layered with my Invictus clone. Now, he did not say what clone of Invictus, so I just grabbed a random one here. L'Aventure from Alharamain, with about 50 million fingerprints on it, making sure it looks as ugly as humanly possible. Every time I wear it, someone says something. Best reaction was when I was doing some work in a care home. I left the staffed laundry room I was in for a minute and then returned. Whilst I was hidden behind some tumble dryers, which actually sounds like the beginning to some sort of, we'll call it adult film. A woman came in and asked the staff, do you have a man in here? See, it still sounds like an adult film. They said he's behind the dryers. She popped her head round and said, "I need to know what fragrance you're wearing. I can smell it in the hallway. It's amazing." 2 colleagues have bought the same combo. So DanStank is just out there teaching people the power of fragrance layering. DanStank is doing the Lord's work by giving them the good stank, not the bad stank. So Black Bold is quite affordable from discounters. You can typically find that for under 30 bucks. And then an Invictus clone also shouldn't be too expensive, though again, Dan, you didn't tell us which one. Black Bold has a nice aromatic kind of fresh spiciness, which could mix together pretty well with an Invictus clone. Let's do it. I don't know why I didn't just do this to begin with. DanStank, you also didn't tell us how many sprays to do or anything, so. And am I just saying your name over and over because it's fun to say? That smells pretty good, DanStank. You're onto something. That's the secret combo right there. That's pretty good. Now this is the second best name. Tyler Durden Elixir. I love it, Elixir. They're everywhere now. This was over 20 years ago. We're going back to the past. I went to a friend's house for dinner. Just the 2 of us. Friend's house. While standing in the kitchen, she looks at me and asks, "Are you wearing cologne?" Before I could answer, she quickly buries her face into my chest. And I mean nose completely squished up against my body like a bloodhound on a scent trail. She worked her way all over my chest and neck. At one point, she was digging her face into my armpits, her nose completely buried into my body, inhaling deeply while saying, "I can't stop smelling it. What is it?" This sounds like something Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia would say. I was in complete shock. I had never seen a reaction like this before and had never seen her behave this way. It was animalistic. I was in my early 20s at the time and owned only 2 fragrances, the OG Aqua Dejo and OG Chrome. It was chrome. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why Azzaro Chrome still sells well to this day, because of Tyler Durden Elixir. Stuff like that happened. Now, I don't believe for a second that she was a friend and that you were over to her house for dinner, just the two of you, and she acted that way. Because not for nothing, but if I had a friend who was truly just a friend and I was over to their house for dinner and they did that, I would be weirded out heavily. Digging her nose into your armpits? Deeply inhaling while saying, "I can't stop smelling it." It almost reads like a weird romance fiction centered around fragrances. Somebody get on that. Fragrance-centric romance novels. But Chrome is, Chrome, this stuff, really inexpensive nowadays, still works, it's clean, like you hopped out the shower with a little metallic vibe to it. Precursor to a lot of the versatile shower jelly fragrances that we have nowadays. Thanks for sharing, Tyler, but you're not the only one that had an Azzaro Chrome story. No, there were a few. Here's another. From Donovan McDonald, 7926. I was wearing Chrome EDT and went into a convenience store. The 80-year-old woman, what's with convenience stores and old women, working the register said, "If you come in here smelling like that again, I'm coming over the counter and going to jump your bones." I know it's an older fragrance, but I do get compliments every time I wear it. Old ladies love the fragrances. So if you're after a grandma who's looking to score Chrome Assad, thank me later. 2 more to go. Grumpy 1098 is next, who says, "Sidrat Boise. I was on my way back home after a day of training and stopped to buy tacos." That's the move. I would take tacos every day. I hadn't applied it for a few hours and forgot it was even a thing. I tried to place an order and right away the lady was like, "What are you wearing?" I thought she was referring to my uniform, and then she clarified that it was the fragrance. Mind you, there was meat smoke everywhere and I was sweaty. That sounds like an independent fragrance. Meat, smoke, and sweat. Definitely some dude would be like, "Meat, smoke, and sweat is actually a fantastic fragrance, very easy to wear. I get a lot of compliments. It's just these other people just don't understand it." They can't wrap their head around it, but I can, because I'm an elite fragrance connoisseur. She asked me for the name and tilted her head in confusion once I said the name. And that's the end of that story. So I guess that was it. "What's that fragrance you're wearing?" Sidra Poise. The end. Also says that he got some good compliments from Side Effect, from Initio. "Had a lady waiting for me in the parking lot. She flagged me down to ask what I was wearing. I told her, she typed it in her phone, and then the look of disbelief when she saw the price made his day. Also got me some action at a party and made me the center of attention at the club." I would have led with that. The taco one is meat, smoke, and sweat, and then she looks at you confusedly. I wouldn't have led with that. Side Effect, you're saying somebody stalked you in a parking lot because you smelled so good, and then you got laid. I would have led with that. Thanks for sharing. You guys are crazy. I love it. All right, the last one is from RD5469, who says, Savage Elixir for show. I was in line at CVS and everyone in the line asked me what it was and got on their phones to order it or maybe took screenshots of it, and then says that Hawass is up there too, saying how he got compliments from that as well. And then everyone slow clapped and they cheered for you as they bagged up your stuff at CVS and you walked out the door, and somebody high-fived you as you walked through the door. That's what happened. I was in line at CVS. I just had this fragrance on. It was so good. People were like, they were clapping, taking screenshots. They were ordering it. Every single person in line. Oh my God, what is that? Oh, I have to buy it right now. I'm just busting your chops. But do I think everyone in line took out their phones to immediately order it and were taking screenshots of it and everything? I don't know, man. I'll believe you. But yeah, of course, Savage Elixir is gonna be on here because Assad is on here. Savage Elixir. Savage Elixir gets brought up every time. People love Savage Elixir. And to be fair, I went on a cruise like a couple months ago, and we're in the Caribbean. I smelled Savage Elixir over and over. So I don't wanna hear anybody saying that you can't wear that during the summer. You absolutely can, because those dudes were. Would I personally have done that? Maybe, no, maybe would have gone for something else, but it was working for them. There we go, guys. 10 fragrances that got you amazing reactions from the ladies. And the old ladies, nice. And the friends, Thank you all for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I appreciate everybody that submitted their answers and everyone that voted. See you guys again tomorrow. Take it easy. Stay safe out there.